What's up, Internet? You're tuning to episode 99 of Nintendo Noise, Flip Screen Games Weekly Nintendo Podcast. I'm your host, Peter Messi, joined, as always, by my very good friend and co-host, Mr. Stephen Radford.
Hello, hello.
Hello, Steve. It is another lovely day to discuss Nintendo. And like we said last week, we got a fun one. We're going to talk about the rest of Nintendo's year here for 2023. Because what an exciting conversation that's become, right? Earlier half of this year, we're like, they won't have anything else. All they need is Tears of the Kingdom. Why would you put even anything else out? And then, of course, we've got a really nice slate of games to look forward to on the back half of this year. So I am excited to talk about that and quite a bit more with you this week. How you feeling this week, bud?
Yeah, I'm excited. I was just checking while because I know we're going to be talking about Metacritic, the score that everybody 1-2 Switch got. And I want you to predict, if you've not seen it, what you think everybody 1-2 Switch got
Oh,
before we get into the show.
okay. I haven't seen it. Ooh, that's an
And also,
interesting.
I've just found out Oxenfree 2's out, and I'm quite excited about that because it got an 85. So
Ooh,
that's
85.
yeah.
That's really good. Okay. Excuse me. Sorry about that. Just getting over a cold. That's great. I saw that there were some preliminary reviews, but I didn't realize. I thought it was more like an impressions thing. I didn't see we had gotten the full score. That's awesome. 85. Very
Yeah.
nice. Very happy to see that. But yeah, I am definitely I'm pretty stoked for most of what we have left this year. Like, there are quite a few games that are pretty exciting on the block, and I actually put a poll over on the Nintendo Noise thread, of our Discord, and I listed out the next 5 games we have coming out throughout this year, right? We've got Pikmin 4, Detective Pikachu Returns, Super Mario Brothers Wonder, WarioWare Move It, and Super Mario RPG. Have you looked at this poll, Steve?
No, I haven't.
I want you to guess which game people are most excited about, and then I'll give you the guess for the Metacritic score.
Mario Brothers Wonder.
You are correct. Look at that. All
Yeah.
right.
I thought it would be. It's the wrong game to be most excited about, but it's
What
a
do you
good one.
think's the number one?
For me, the number one is Mario RPG because I've never played it and I'm
All
really
right.
excited about it.
Yeah, that one tied for number 3. So it was Super Mario Bros. Wonder was the number 1 choice. WarioWare Move It came in second, and then Pikmin
Really?
4 and Super Mario RPG tied. Which, yeah,
Wow.
I think Chewy massaged those numbers a little bit, I think. But,
Yeah, he's like he's logging in with all of his other accounts.
yeah, he's got
Chewy.
his burners out there so that he can cheat. So, for
Chewy
one, 2
plays PlayStation. Chewy plays Steam Deck. They're all logging in.
That's a good idea. Yeah, that's a great idea. Okay. I'm gonna say that I think it probably reviewed better than I'm expecting, but not very high. So I wanna say, like,
Mm. If you get this bang on, I'm gonna scream.
I my gut is telling me, like, 81.
What? Oh, come on. 56.
56? Oh my god, that's way lower than I thought.
Yeah, and some of the reviews are really, really bad. Like Game Reactor
I'm
said, after just 3 or 4 sessions with everybody 1-2 Switch, I'd seen it all and I didn't want to go back. I don't know how it happened, but I do know there are far, far better ways to entertain friends and family.
See, I guess I was thinking it was higher because 'cause I'd seen, like, a lot of the previews, but not the full reviews, and a lot of people, like, seem to be like, "Actually, it's surprisingly okay, like, this is not too bad." So I was like, "Alright, like, maybe it'll be on the forgiving side." IGN gave it a 4, so never mind,
Yep,
yeah,
yep.
that's
IGN
rough.
gave it a 4,
Yeah, because
Nintendo Life gave it a 6.
again, like, based on what I had seen from the reviews that were, like, not numbered, I'm like, "Okay, so, like, maybe this is, like, a 7, right? Like, this seems like this might be okay." Damn, that's low. That's really low.
Yeah, apparently a
But
tedious and surprisingly small catalog of unoriginal and poorly designed minigames that's guaranteed to bring any party grinding to a halt.
That's so brutal. Oh my god. Well, we talked about the other 5 games that Nintendo's got on the back half of this year, and I think most of these are poised to deliver pretty well. So we're
Which
gonna
yeah, I'm so curious because I know the polls, like, in terms of excitement, I think that's swayed by our audience. I'm surprised Pikmin 4 has not got the level of hype that I thought it would, especially with the demo that came out.
Yeah, I mean, the idea that it's tying with Super Mario RPG, I think, like, in our poll feels pretty good. 'Cause, like, I
Mm,
think of Super Mario RPG as being a big deal, even if it is, like, a little more niche, and I think that's kinda where Pikmin operates, right? It's certainly not an A or S tier Nintendo franchise. I think it is more, like, on the top of the B tier, and I could see this being the game that pushes it over, where maybe this one sells a lot stronger, gets more attention than the other ones have. You hope, but, you know
I don't think so. Pikmin 3 couldn't do it. I don't think Pikmin 4 is gonna do it. I don't know that there's enough there for people that didn't play Pikmin 3 to go, "Oh, I'll pick up Pikmin 4 and I'll start there." It's so strange to me that Pikmin 1 and 2 are coming out after Pikmin 4.
physically. You
Yeah.
can get them digitally now.
Oh, can you? Yeah, you can. Yeah, it's so strange though. It's like they've done that a couple of times now with the digital's available now, but physical's like way down the line. And I'm just like, why are you doing that? It's so
Yeah.
strange.
So, I mean, I don't know. When I look at Pikmin 3, like it was the best-selling Pikmin game ever, right? It looks like it hit, and this is as of February of 2021, it was at around it was like 1.91 million units. So the idea that maybe it's crossed into 2 million since then, um, isn't it's not bad, right? Like
It's not
that's
great though, is it?
no, but
We're not even talking Metroid levels of numbers here.
yeah, but that's the thing. Like Dread was the first really well-selling Metroid game. So it's like the idea that this game, trends a little higher than that and maybe breaks into that 3 to 5 range. I think that would be a win for Pikmin.
I hope so. Yeah, I do hope so. I mean, apparently Metroid Dread sold like 3 million, didn't it? So, um, yeah, I could see it. I don't think it's going to get much more than that, though. I think that's probably where we're going to land in around 3 million numbers. But man, I'm looking at some of those Metroid numbers from previous games. Some of them sold less. Like a lot of them sold less than 1 million. Federation Force
Yeah,
apparently 0.15 million. Really
yeah.
150,000.
That's
That's
the
it.
thing. Yeah, man, it's like people have this perception of certain franchises as being bigger sellers than they are. Like Zelda was that way. Go look at Zelda sales. Like before Breath of the
Yeah,
Wild,
I
Zelda
know.
was not what it is now in sales anyway, right? Like iconography, like, recognition, sure, but Metroid's that same way. People know what a Metroid is. They recognize Metroid and that world and how much influence it's had, but that's never really translated into it being a big seller. And the idea that, again, Pikmin being in that like near 2 million range, like that's actually pretty good for one of their like lesser quote unquote franchises. And I don't mean that in quality, but in terms of brand recognition, right? Pikmin is not a Mario, it's not a Zelda, right? That's cool though. It can be smaller than that and still be successful, right? I hope that
Ocarina of Time sold pretty well, 7.6 million on the N64 and about the same on the 3DS when they did the
sure,
re-release.
but that's like the standout, you know?
Yeah.
Like go like what like what's the
Twilight
last
Princess was 10 million, you know?
yeah, but on a console that is like the best selling console of all time. Like that's not a great attachment rate.
Yeah.
Like you know what? Like that's the equivalent of like The Last of Us, which we have talked about as like,
Yeah.
well, it's
Yeah.
not
It
it's not
feels like it underperforms, especially when
it's
it
not
costs $200
Mario.
million dollars to make, yeah.
Exactly. And that's kind of my point is like it's not to disparage those games. It's not to say that they're not good or that they weren't like popular enough or whatever. It's just they're not ubiquitous in the way that something like Breath of the Wild is, and like that is an outlier. And you've seen that on the Switch. You've seen a lot of franchises get that level up and become a bigger deal, like
Mhm.
even like Fire Emblem, right? Like Fire Emblem Three Houses is the best-selling Fire Emblem game. And I think
Which
it's
isn't difficult really, is it, you know? When you look at the numbers on the previous games and the consoles that they released on. I guess mainly they were handheld, right? So
and
you'd
that's
think on the DS it probably would have sold better.
That's the thing. I think the 3DS is where it really broke out. Like Awakening
Mm.
was like where it kind of became a bigger deal in the West. And I think you see that now capitalized on Switch, where Three Houses looks like it sold 3.82 million, right? And like that's now the best selling game in that franchise. So the idea that maybe Pikmin can kind of, hit that level where it is like above three and hitting that 3 to 5 range, and it's okay, cool. This is now the new best selling game. That shows that there's interest and that you can keep growing it. And this is going to be the most new player friendly game because they are removing some of the like time constraints and stuff that made the game a little bit more challenging. So I don't know.
Maybe it is a good one to jump in on then. I think really though what I'm hearing is that we need Sakurai to put 1 million Pikmin characters in Smash Bros. Like he did with Fire
Yeah,
Emblem, and that will start selling the
that would
games.
help. That would help.
Yeah.
That would definitely help.
Yeah, I just want Olimar to be like, there, just punching his way through.
So I wanted to kind of go through the rest of the games that are coming out this year, right, on that list, and talk a little bit about just how we're feeling about each of them, like what's our personal interest and hype level, make a couple Metacritic predictions. And I wanna raise a question to you in a minute here, Steve, which is could we look at 2023 as the best year ever on Switch down the line? And before you answer that question, so I want you to mull it over. We're gonna talk about all these games, and then
A
we'll then
mullet.
we'll get into the question. But I want to start with just a little news update, which I thought was interesting in the context of the conversations we've been having the last couple weeks on the show, right? With the Switch being this unstoppable sales juggernaut, right? In its now what sixth, seventh year on the coming on 7 years on the market, and would you believe that in Japan, this past June 2023 was the best June that the Switch ever had in Japan. 6 plus
Yeah.
years into the life cycle.
I mean,
That
that's
is
what Tears of a Kingdom for you, right? That's
yeah, but
why.
still, man, that's crazy. Like, that's when you think about the context of that, right? It's about to have hit
I mean, what
30
else has
million.
come out in June?
What's that?
Over the last few years, what else came out in June? We had Splatoon, so maybe I would have thought Splatoon 2 and Splatoon 3 maybe would have driven sales there, but not to the extent of the sequel to Breath of the Wild.
No, but I mean, think about it, man. Like, there are not that many, like, I the idea that a console is having one of its best months,
And
6
this is hardware sales we're talking about, right?
yes,
Just to
right.
clarify, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So, that's a lot, man. Like, that is kinda crazy when you really think about it, because there are 30 million Switches in Japan as well. There are only 125.7 million people in Japan as of 2021. So, like, that's a really high adoption rate when you think about it. That's a significant percentage of people
Quarter of the population have one, yeah.
owns a Switch already, and it
Yeah.
had its best-selling month 6 years in. And again, not overall, but best June. That is crazy. Like that's not the kind of thing you usually see a console setting this record this many years into the life cycle. It sold 100,000 units last week.
Which again makes me worry that Nintendo looks to this and goes, yeah, we don't really need to put another one out yet. People are still buying this in droves. It's
Yeah.
still the hottest console in Japan, and it had its best month in June, or its best June since
Launch.
since launch. Yeah, yeah, it's crazy, crazy,
It
but
so
I kind of also expected.
yeah, it is, I guess, right? Because it's like the thing is, it sells like hotcakes already, and Tears of the Kingdom is like probably the best game on the console, and it's the
And
sequel to
how
what was
and the
previously the
special
best game on the
edition,
console.
yeah, maybe people were holding out on not buying the OLED Switch, and then
Yeah.
they're just like, "Oh, this hot special edition's out. I'll finally buy it. I'll finally upgrade." I could see that driving sales pretty heavily as well.
Yeah, it just shows that the thing still has so much juice, you know? And like again, we're
Yeah,
we're going into the back half of this year with so many exciting games ahead of us,
I
right? Like
know. Yeah.
like we said, we got Pikmin 4 next week, right? Or 2 weeks from now on July 21st. We've got Detective Pikachu Returns Thursday, October 6th. We because Super Mario Bros. Wonder, Thursday, October 20th. We got WarioWare Move It, Thursday, November 3rd, and then Super Mario RPG, Thursday, November 17th. That is a great lineup of games. That would be a great lineup of games if we didn't already have Tears of the Kingdom and Fire Emblem Engage and a bunch of other hot stuff this year. Like it's
What
a
else did
solid
they
lineup.
release? They released something else early in the year that we were
Who could
both
forget One
playing.
Two Switch? Steve, come on.
No, it was I'm sure it was something else. But maybe
Um,
I'm misremembering.
Here I'll look it up. But
But yeah, I think I would look at the lineup that we got for the rest of the year, and I'd be like, if they did that over the course of the whole year, maybe we start the year with Pikmin, we end the year with Mario RPG. I'd be like, yeah, this is a great lineup, and we have Mario Brothers Wonder as the summer release in June. But the fact that they're just like, no, sod it, we'll just push it all out alongside Tears of the Kingdom is crazy to me, absolutely crazy to me.
I
And
mean, some of these I think are like far enough away where like there will be people who are still playing those games for sure, but like I think broadly people are probably gonna have been moved on from Tears of the Kingdom in the next couple months. You know, I think Pikmin is the game that is gonna struggle the most.
yeah, and I kind of think that they know Pikmin's niche enough that if you're a big Nintendo fan, you've probably battled your way through Tears of the Kingdom already, and you're going to be ready to pick up Pikmin 4. And those are the
Yeah.
people that buy Pikmin anyway, so why not put that out then? Detective Pikachu Returns, I think, is a different market, it's a different kind of player that's playing that game to Tears of the Kingdom. And then you're right, Mario Brothers Wonder is far enough away in October that it doesn't really matter.
I think
At that
it's
point, you've had 3 or 4 months to finish Tears of the Kingdom, and if you've not finished it, then you're probably not going to.
yeah, exactly. I think it to me it's like Wonder, Move It, and RPG all being like right on top of each other. That feels weird. Like 3 releases in a month seems like a lot. I don't know why you wouldn't. And it's probably so that they'll be considered for like awards and everything, but I'd push one of those to December, I feel like, but you know.
I'd have
Um
pushed some of them into next year. Like, start the
maybe
year with Mario RPG, like,
yeah, I that does make
but
sense
that's a
and they'll
Square Enix title, so maybe they want it this year. They want to kind of fit
yeah,
that in and have it as part of their end of year game.
yeah, maybe push Wonder to next year. I don't know. But
No,
it
but you
is
can't push Wonder to next year because you got the Peach game next year.
and Luigi's Mansion.
Yeah, so then it's like, how many Mario games do we want to release in 1 year? But they did that before with Mario Brothers U and with Super Mario Maker 2, and I think both of those really underperformed because they were too close to one another. And we also got 3D World, and Bowser's Fury, I think in the
Right.
same year as the All-Stars collection, or at least very
Mm,
close to the All-Stars collection.
yeah, I don't quite remember the timeline on that if you
Might have
wanna
been
look
the
it up.
year after.
But, to answer your question from before of what the other games were that dropped this year, in January, we had Fire Emblem Engage. We had Metroid Prime Remastered in February.
That was
We
it, Prime, yeah.
we had, Tales of Symphonia Remastered in February as well. Kirby's Return to Dreamland Deluxe came out in February. Then we had Bayonetta Origins in March. We had, Advance Wars 1+2 Reboot Camp in April. Tears of the
Advance
Kingdom
Wars,
right.
Jesus.
Tears of the Kingdom comes out in May, 1-2 Switch in June, Pikmin 4 in July, and then on and on, right? October, we've got Detective Pikachu, and Mario Wonder, and November, we've got WarioWare, Persona 5 Tactica, Super Mario RPG, and then, later in December, we'll have Pokemon Concierge to look forward to.
Not to
So
mention GoldenEye finally made it to the console as well.
sure, sure.
You finally can play that on a Nintendo console again for the first time since the N64.
Yeah. So I mean, I think it's definitely a really strong lineup overall when you get right down to it. So to talk about the individual titles, we'll go through them in chronological order, right? Let's talk about Pikmin 4. How do you feel about Pikmin 4 overall? I know that you're not like a big Pikmin guy, but I know that you said that you could see yourself maybe giving it a shot later in the year.
Yeah,
Is it
I
one you think you'll try to make time for?
no, not this year. Not with everything else that's coming out. When this was the only other game coming out, yes. probably would have been my title later in the year. But the fact that we've got Mario Brothers Wonder and WarioWare and Mario RPG coming later in the year, and I've also got Baldur's Gate 3 that's coming out in August now that I want to get to. I've still got Tears of the Kingdom I'm chipping away at. I've got Diablo 4. We've got Starfield. There's so many games on other platforms as well that the games I want to play on Switch at the moment are Tears of the Kingdom, and probably Mario RPG is going to be the only other title I get to this year, just because of where Mario Brothers Wonder is. That is so close to Starfield.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's literally the same day as Spider-Man 2,
Yeah,
which is
so it's like,
gonna
are you really going to
kill
pick
me.
that up? Probably
Yeah.
not.
No, I definitely am.
But you're probably going to be prioritizing Spider-Man over Mario Brothers Wonder.
Potentially, but I'm definitely gonna play them both at the same time.
Hmm.
I'll say it before I've said it before, I'll say it again. Everybody who is, like, writing that game off because it's a 2D Mario is showing their utter ignorance of this industry, because 2D Mario sells way better than 3D Mario. 3D Mario or 2D Mario is a much bigger deal, a much bigger announcement than a 3D Mario, for sure. And if not, it'll be the first in that trend that has ever been the case. Yeah, that's gonna be a big game later this year for sure when it comes to sales, whether or not it comes
It
down
just
to
looks really good.
it looks awesome.
It's coming out around the Black Friday period where people are starting to think about holiday season, what we're gonna get the kids for
Mhm.
Christmas. It's like the perfect moment to
It's a
release that
no-brainer.
game,
Yeah, yeah, it's a
and it's the
fucking
one you pick up.
wonderful time for that to come
Mm.
out. That game is gonna I bet you they'll do a bundle with it, right? Like,
Yeah. I actually don't think this will sell as well as Mario Odyssey. I don't think it's gonna reach that level. The only other two there's three Mario Brothers games that have beat Mario Odyssey, and that is a Mario Brothers Wii, Mario Brothers on the DS, and the original Mario Brothers. Those are the only three Mario games that have beaten it.
and they're all
Um,
2D.
they are all 2D. I mean, then you have the Mario Kart, but I do think that I think Mario Galaxy was a different game to Mario Odyssey, and that was the 3D game that was out around that kind of time period. So I could see it made. I think it's probably going to hit the 20 million mark, but I don't think it beats Mario Odyssey, which is at 26 million.
I don't know. I think if it doesn't, it'll be because there's not enough time for it. But I think if the next console is backwards compatible, then
Then yeah, I think it gets up there. Yeah,
and I think it will.
yeah, but I mean, Mario Odyssey's had like 5 years, so it's like 5 6 years.
here's the thing, Steve. We are gonna treat these as a bet, these predictions. Let's put a side bet on that one.
Oh, on Mario Wonder, yeah, sure,
Yeah. You down to put a side bet on that? That
yeah.
it'll outsell, but by when? What, like, how do we
Like that's the
we're
thing. Like, how do you do that? Do we come back to it like fucking 6 years time and
yeah,
we're like,
yeah.
yeah, I did it?
Yeah, I think that's what we gotta do. I think we'll make it a pizza bet. Okay? Loser has to buy the other one a pizza.
Okay, you're getting some horrible pizza then. I'll buy you a Papa John's.
No, at least get Domino's, man. Come on, Jesus. Um, all right, hold on. All right, I'm putting it in the show notes, and we'll come back to this one. Pizza bet. He
So at the moment,
thinks Super Mario
we're at
Wonder
26 million
will
but
outsell
for it. So it's got to
Odyssey.
do 26 million in 6 years.
Yeah.
Or we
Okay.
find out what it was within the first year and see if it can outsell it within a year.
Like year to date, like in terms of like where Odyssey was in it, because I
A
don't think it's
year
gonna.
after, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Maybe we'll check in on it there, and then we'll see. Because I'm down to come back to it years from now. I think that's fine.
Okay, that's fine.
Somebody will
So
have to remind us, though. When it
26
be.
million after 6 years.
Okay. Yeah, we'll do that. I'm in. I'm in. We'll check in 6 years, or if it happens before then.
Yeah,
Uh,
like it might hit 10 million in a week in the same way that Tears of the Kingdom did. I think
yeah,
that's highly unlikely, but it might.
and then we'll be like, oh shit, there we go. Okay, maybe that's
If
gonna
it was
happen.
Mario Kart 9, I would have been there with you. I'd have been
Yeah.
like, yes, 100% Pete,
That's
you're
what I'm
right.
saying, man. Though, like 2D Mario, it sells better than you think, right? And like
It
the
does
one,
sell better. It does sell better than you think, but I think part of that is because of the platforms it was launched on, the 3D Marios that were available at the time. we didn't get a 3D Mario on the Wii U, and
Sure.
and I think people were as great as Galaxy 1 and 2 were, they weren't what people wanted after 64.
I
I
mean,
think a lot of people wanted
I
Mario
guess
Odyssey,
that's arguable, but it's also like you
and
then why
Sunshine
didn't
was on a GameCube, so
yeah, but it's like so why didn't people buy a GameCube to play it? Because it wasn't that good.
yeah.
And it's like the Galaxy games were like they reviewed really well, and they were on a console that a lot of people owned, and a lot of people still didn't buy them.
It still sold 13 million copies, so, like,
No
it's still a lot.
slouch, no
Yeah.
slouch, but it's not 26.
No?
You
What do
know,
you think the worst selling Mario game is? And
3D or
we'll
overall.
go with, like, mainline Mario games,
So you're
not any
saying
of the side
mainline
ones.
2D and 3D?
Yeah.
I would guess probably Sunshine.
So it looks
I
like
guess it depends on where you draw the line. Because like if you're gonna tell me like, oh, maybe Mario Land on the Game Boy sold less, like maybe okay, fine, but
yeah, the original Mario Brothers, sold pretty poorly. It was 2.2 million, but I think we're considering Super Mario Brothers as, like, the original Mario
right.
Brothers title that we're comparing it
Where
to.
you're drawing the line changes the answer to that question
Yeah.
quite a bit. Yeah.
The worst one was the Lost Levels. Super Mario Brothers: The Lost Levels,
That makes
2.6
sense.
million.
That makes sense actually. Yeah. Didn't that was only a Wii virtual console title though, right?
I don't know. I think it originally came to the NES, didn't it?
I don't think it did. Oh, I might be wrong on that, but I don't remember that if it got an original NES release. I thought that came to Wii later on.
Yeah, you could be right. I'm looking at the Nintendo fandom page, which is where I'm getting these figures from. They could well be absolute bollocks. So take it with a grain of salt.
Mm, let me see. I'm trying to see when it got
But
released in the United.
Mario Land sold so well. 18 million copies. The original Super Mario Land on the Game Boy.
How much was it?
18 million.
That's what I'm talking about, bro. 18
But that's on
million.
the Game Boy. Like, come on, you know?
What does that mean?
Like, but you look at, say, like 3D World that sold 17 million across two consoles. I
Yeah, but
and
that's
like I
that's the
don't know
thing though,
what
is
Mario
I
Brothers
think it being a
U
re-release
Deluxe did.
takes away from it, I think a little bit, versus
What
being a
about Mario Brothers
new thing.
U? Like, you combine the two, Mario Brothers U and U Deluxe. I think because it was on the Wii U, it suffered. It sold
Yeah.
24 million. It's less than Mario Odyssey, and that's with a re-release
Still
on the
though, dude,
Switch.
that's 24 million though. So
I know.
you're telling me
Yeah,
a
but
game
my
that came out
point
on Wii U
is,
and got re-released sold 24. You don't think a brand new game, the first new 2D Mario style since New Super Mario Bros. Is going to sell more than that? I think it will. I think it'll sell a lot more than that. I bet you that game breaks 30,
yeah, it could. That would put it in line with Mario Brothers Wii.
which I think is probably a better analogy. That was the last that and New Super Mario Bros. Were like the first fresh
They were
new.
hand in hand. They're both 30
Yeah,
million.
there you go. It's an
Interesting.
interesting
I
one.
wonder if Mario Odyssey had come out later in the life cycle of the Switch, would more people have picked it up? Because more people will have had the Switch. There's a greater market to sell to on day one. They get caught up in the marketing hype.
Maybe it's weird. The legacy of Mario Odyssey is weird to me. I feel like people don't talk about it as much as they should.
Yeah, it's a really fucking good game. It's one of my favorite games on the system. I think it's probably my second favorite game on the system now.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, yeah. No, I think I would agree with that. I think I'd go Tears of the Kingdom. Then that's the number 2 game.
Yeah, and then Breath of the Wild's probably right below it. But Breath of the Wild would have been number one, but Tears of the Kingdom is just better in every single way.
They were also like kind of neck and neck for me when they came out. Like they're
Yeah.
both like tens. Like they're both great
They're
games.
both really great games, but if I'm going back and replaying one, I want to go back and play the one where I can build a car and a flying machine and I can
Yeah,
just go around the place, you know?
yeah. Okay. So on the note of Pikmin 4, what do you think the Metacritic looks like?
Hold on, I need to find out what the Metacritic of Pikmin 3 is before I can say what I think Pikmin 4 is
Yeah,
going to be.
fair enough.
Where do you think it's going to be? Pikmin 3 Deluxe on Switch is at an 85.
I think it.
That's that's high.
I feel like it probably does a little better than that.
You think so?
Yeah. If it's an
Bear in
80,
mind where Tears of the Kingdom is.
which is
96.
96, yeah. If Pikmin 3 did an 85, I wouldn't be surprised if Pikmin 4 hit 86, 87. I'm gonna say
Pikmin
86.
3 on the Wii U did 87.
Okay.
Pikmin
Okay.
2 did 90.
See, like it could be that high. Let me clarify
Yeah,
too. Are we doing prices right? Is it closest without going over, or is it we have to guess?
no, because otherwise I'm gonna say like 2. It'll do 2.
No, then you'll lose because I'll say 70 and I'll win.
Right, well, who's going first then? We have to decide because that is critical if we're doing prices right rules.
Yeah.
We're gonna do heads or tails.
Okay.
You want
Here,
to
I
call
got.
it, and I'll ask Siri.
Okay, I was gonna say I got a coin right in front of me if you want.
We can have Siri read it out for everyone. What are you saying?
Tails.
Heads or tails? Oh, it's tails. It says tails, but it
Damn.
didn't say it for some reason.
I mean I trust you because I won and you're telling me
Yeah.
that. So I why would you lie? So okay, so I'm going first. I'm gonna say God damn, that's such I'm gonna say 87. I'm gonna say 87.
All right, okay, with 88 then.
Okay. God, I hope you win that one. That would be sick. I hope it gets a 90. That would be awesome. Okay. Detective Pikachu returns Thursday, October 6th. What are we thinking? What's your excitement level for this one? You've been talking about this game for years, but you're not gonna play it.
It's at 0 now. Like the way it looked, it was fucking ugly. There was like no shadows. I was excited about it because of the movie, and I really wanted a Detective Pikachu 2 movie.
Yeah.
I'm excited and glad that more people get to play this game and it's going to be out there. And I hope that they follow through with the re-release of the original. I don't think this is going to be a very good game. I think this is probably going to be pretty low. The original was at 71 on the 3DS. I can't see that this gets much higher than that. A 7 out of 10, it seems like a mid game. Seems about where this game belongs.
Yeah, I am with you. I'm not excited for this one. I'm inclined to think that this one is going to score lower than the original, because I think it's going to have more attention and scrutiny on it because of those things. Because there is the movie now to compare it against. There is the expectation of it being a sequel. So I think there are going to be people who heard about the first one, who saw that there was a movie based on it, and are going to be like, "Cool, I want to get in on this,"
And then they
and
go
are
like, who the fuck is this Danny DeVito dude playing Ryan Reynolds?
and are gonna find that it's weird and not great and not what they were expecting. So, I mean, if the original got you said it was what was it on Metacritic? 70?
71. And bear in mind, some big publishers gave it good numbers. IGN gave it an 82.
Okay.
Nintendo Life gave it an 80.
Ah. I'm gonna say, God, where to draw the line is hard. The original's a 71, you said.
71, yeah. It's already tough. It's really
I'm
tough because you don't
torn.
want to go over now, right?
Yeah, right. And it's like 70, I feel like feels high. So it's
But
like
then it
how
could be 72. Could be
right,
71.
right,
Or what if it's 69? What if it's 68 and you've gone over?
right. I'm gonna say 65.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'm gonna say 65.
I think it's higher than that. I think it hits the 70s, but I'll go with 66 because why not?
You're a little punk.
Now, Mario Brothers Wonder. This is difficult because, like, what was the last really big game like this? Like, are we saying Mario Brothers Wii? Because that got
Hmm.
87.
I don't know.
But
Yeah.
I guess Mario Brothers U was the last one, right?
Yeah, yeah.
and that was 84.
Okay. Mm, yeah, okay. Oh, I don't know. That's a big question. Because like, some of these games, right, it's like, are they getting a lower score because they're old games, right? And there is that, like, this is an old game, it's been re-released, what have they done to change it? Like, how is it aged? What have they, like.
The score's locked in though, right? Mario Brothers Wii, for example, 87, that score's not gonna change. It takes the critics' reviews, that's the score. So that's not gonna shift. It was an 87 when it released, that's what it's gonna continue to be, right?
Yeah, but I'm talking about, like, the U Deluxe, right? Like, that gets re-reviewed.
Mario Brothers U was the number I was reading, which was 84. I
Okay,
don't know
I
what U
gotcha,
Deluxe is.
I gotcha.
U Deluxe got an 80, so it did lose 4 points when it got re-released.
So, yeah, I mean, I guess it's like it would either be that or, like, maybe Mario Maker, like, that's another.
Mario Maker's a very different game though, isn't it, you know?
Yeah.
That
Yeah, I
one's
mean,
tough.
I
Mario
feel like it.
Maker 2 got an 88.
Okay. This is a tough one. This is really tough. Because like, I am inclined to think it will have some level of unfair. I don't know. What did Metroid Dread get? Can you look that up for me real quick?
Yeah, Metroid Dread, I think, scored really well. Metroid Dread
It was
got
high,
88.
right? 88. I feel like I'm torn because I'm like, I want to say that it'll break into the 90s, but I wonder if it
I
being a
do
2D
too, yeah.
game is gonna get held against it.
I think it could do, but Metroid Dread got 88 and it was 2D and people were really excited about it. And
Yeah,
this is a 2D game with Mario and a fucking elephant and like all that. And wow, amazing cutesy stuff, you know? People are excited
yeah,
about it.
yeah. I think you're right. I feel like I see it going higher. How high though?
Yeah, that's the thing. Mario Odyssey got 97. Do you think it's going to reach 97?
No, because 3D Mario games always review better
Did they?
generally,
Mario Galaxy got 97. Mario Sunshine got 92. You
which is
think this
way
game's not
too
going to
high.
review more than Mario Galaxy? Mario 64 got 94, but then it's re-released on the DS only got 85.
Yeah. Fuck.
I also wonder how like accurate these legacy scores are because they're
Right.
pulling them from magazines, you
Yeah.
know.
Take it with a grain of salt, of course. Okay. I'm gonna say 90. I'll say 90.
Oh, okay. See, now I'm in a really tough
You are.
situation of do I go lower because it could be in the 80s, or do I need to go higher because it hits like 90? Because I was thinking like 92,
I
93,
know. And it's
and
like,
I now don't know where to go. I'll go. I'm gonna go with 83.
okay.
83.
All right. I like that. I think that's good. Okay. WarioWare Move It, November 3rd. Oh, wait. We didn't
Where's your excitement on this? Because like
real
I
quick.
just don't care.
Because we didn't talk about Super Mario Bros. Wonder about our excitement level there, right? I mean, for me, I'm through the roof, right? I love 2D Mario. This is like one of the hypest announcements possible, so I'm definitely really excited for this one. Are you gonna play this at all?
No, probably not. I find these games too hard and frustrating because of it.
That's so wild.
Unless this comes out and it's like not difficult, or it has a mode where I can not be annoyed and stressed out with it. Like 3D World, I had such a good time
It's
with.
just
Bowser's Fury, I had such a good time
it's
with.
so funny to be like where you draw the line. You're like, this is too hard for me. It's like, bro, you played fucking
But then I'm gonna go and like hammer away at Godry and Elden Ring.
Yeah, you played Elden Ring, you played Dread. I feel like Metroid is definitely harder than
Oh my god,
Mario.
that was like the only game I've ever played where I got sweaty palms, and it was horrendous. That final fight, oh my god, I was so angry with it. I couldn't go to bed. I was up until 3 o'clock. I could not go to bed until I did that final
I
fight,
remember.
and it was like 2 hours.
See, okay. I hope you try it. I really hope you try it.
Look, it's like everything. I say I won't, and then I get caught up in it, and I'm just like, you know what? I really do want to try it.
I feel like this is one you have to try just for the sake of like the conversation, like even
I'm
if you
gonna
bet,
be playing Starfield, and that's the
yeah,
thing, and I don't want to pause that to go and play this, especially when I've not even finished Tears of the Kingdom, and I want to finish
they're
that
like
by the
they're
end of the
such
year.
different games though, like
I know they are,
you
but you're telling me
totally
I should play this rather than finishing Tears of the Kingdom? Not a chance.
no, I think you should finish Tears of the Kingdom before Starfield though. You got
Yeah,
so
that's
many
not
weeks
gonna
between now
happen.
and
That's
then.
not gonna happen.
That's so much time.
Yeah. Theoretically, yeah. In,
Sure.
in actuality, with my life right now, no, I do not.
Not really. But I mean, like, it's so many months away. Like, you do have like 12
Yeah, I
plus weeks.
do. But then, like I said, there's so many other games on so many other platforms that I want to play and I want to have a conversation about by the end of the year. I'm getting to a point where I'm just like, am I even going to have 10 games to talk about for a game of the year this year? I don't know if
That's
I will.
nuts. How? There's so many games this
But
year.
what have I played that's new this year that is really in contention?
You got to play more games.
Yeah, yeah, I do.
I got so many, dude. I got
Gotta
so
find more
many.
time.
Need more time. Yeah, WarioWare Move, it's an interesting one for me. A friend of mine is talking about getting it, and I'm excited to play it in that context. But otherwise, this is not the kind of game that I ever buy. I don't play enough
No,
party games to warrant dropping
I didn't buy the
$60 for
last
something like
one
this. Yeah,
either. Smooth Moves was great fun, and I think that was really the last one that I really connected with in terms of WarioWare.
yeah.
I'd rather they stop making these and make more Mario Party, to be honest. Or do a
Sure.
Wario Party. Like, come on. Like, it's like the perfect combo. I go around a fucking board and then you give me some WarioWare mini games, whatever you want to call them.
Yeah, I think something like that I could see being fun. I don't know. Like, I feel like it has its place, but I don't feel like it's felt essential in a long time. The last one got a 76 on Metacritic. So, like, I don't know. Like, this is, like Chewy was calling out how this is a sequel to like a one that many people think is the best. So, like, this could maybe be a bit of a return to
Really?
form, but
I always thought like WarioWare Inc. on the GBA is the best rated WarioWare game. It got 89. And then some of the other GBA ones also did really well. But Smooth Moves is the highest rated on home consoles. I got 83. The original got 76.
yeah. Okay.
Get It Together got 76 as well, which was the Switch one.
I'm going to say 76.
I'm gonna say 70. I don't think it's gonna do as well.
Okay. All right, last up, Super Mario RPG, November 17th. This is what I'm really excited for.
Are
This
they
is
gonna
like,
get a Metacritic score for this because it's a re-release?
yeah, of course they are. Definitely. Think about it. Metroid Prime Remaster has one.
Oh, that's true.
This
Yeah,
is more of a new game than that is.
yeah, you're right.
Um, so I would say this one's up there for me because this is like one of those like real big gaps in my,
Yeah,
knowledge. I've never played the original. I've never even started it. It's like one of those games I've always been like, oh, I should really play that one of these days, and just never took the plunge. And great opportunity to jump back in, something fresh. I think it's a game I'm really looking forward to experiencing and seeing what all the fuss is about. And I really like turn-based RPGs. So I mean, I'm very excited for this.
me too. I can't wait. This was never released in the UK. Finally getting an official release on a console that I actually own. I never had an SNES. So I'm really excited about it. No score for this one on Metacritic. I think the closest I would say is probably Paper Mario. The original Paper Mario got 93, and then Thousand Year Door, which I think a lot of people consider to be the best, got 87.
Yeah. Okay. And we have like the Mario and Luigi stuff, I guess, as well, which has been all over the place. Like Bowser's Inside Story and Superstar Saga look like they're both at 90. So kind of go anywhere from there. Like Paper Mario 93, right? Like the idea of this hitting somewhere in the 90s, I think is not unheard of. But I guess it's a big question of like what do they change and is it like battling the this is a Super Nintendo game that they're charging $60 for and does it feel like that is worth it and what's actually gone into
Mm.
I don't know, you
And
know?
how are they reviewing it? Are they reviewing it as a game or with nostalgia? And it's like, this is how I remember. This is great. You know, I think Link's Awakening is probably a good
I literally
example of a
was
game
looking
like
that up
this.
for the exact same reason. And
Uh,
that's got an 87. So,
because that game has its annoyances. It's still a Game Boy game. It's
sure.
still a game that's designed like it was in the 90s, and there's annoying things in it. I had to get you to walk me through to finish that game. Otherwise, there's
Yeah,
no way I would have ever finished it. But it got an 87, and that was a very like big shift in visual style, real big surprise. It was really cool. I hope they make more games like that.
me too.
I think so. I do think Mario RPG is going to be up there, though. I think it probably is going to be in the 80s and the 90s.
Yeah. I'm going to say 87.
I'll go 90.
Bold. Bold and I like it.
Yeah, I think I could easily see it getting to a 90.
All right. I'm into it. I'm into it. So, I yeah, okay. So I guess my ranking here in terms of excitement, I feel like it's probably Mario Wonder number 1, Pikmin 4 number 2, RPG number 3, and then
Move It's just not even on the list. You're like, I don't care.
Move it Detective Pikachu, yeah, and a
They're
wet
dead
pillow
for
fight
me.
for last place. Yeah.
For me, Mario RPG is number one. I'm so excited for that. I think Mario Wonder is after that. Pikmin 4, and then, like, same as you, I don't care about the other two at all.
Yeah.
Will not buy them, will not play it.
Cool. So you think you'll pick up Mario RPG?
Yeah, yeah. I think Mario RPG is going to be my game I play over Christmas, unless
Nice.
anything else comes out that's like, wow, this is a must play. That's probably going to be the one I play.
I dig it. I dig it. I am gonna try to play all 3 of them. That's for sure. We'll see how we do. I'm very afraid that there's gonna be at least one game I very, very much want to consider for game of the year that I do not get to, and, we shall see. I gotta make good use of these
That's
next
why
couple
Game
weeks.
of the Year should be next July. We're going to move it again.
You're insane.
Look, when are the Oscars for like last
I'm
year's
not basing
movies?
it off the nobody gives a shit about the Oscars. It's like the fucking one of the worst award shows in the world.
All right, okay. What about the fucking Emmys? That's like
They're also
anything.
garbage.
All right, they're all garbage, but
Yeah.
they're not done at the end of the year. We at
The
least
Game
wait
Awards
for
is
people to be
the
able
Game
to watch everything and play and be able to express some kind of judgment on it before we're just like, yeah, here you go.
Please, that's
December's
such
here. You haven't had a
bullshit,
chance to
though.
play the games that came out in
That's
November.
that's such bullshit. Go read. I think it was Vanity Fair did an article about Oscar voting. Fucking most Oscar voters don't watch any of the fucking movies that they vote on. That's why the movie that usually wins Best Picture is not the best movie. It's the movie that everybody hated the least or that everybody
It's the
found the
snobby
most
ones.
palatable. You know, it's like that's
Uh-huh.
bullshit. Game Awards is the only legitimate game award or the only legitimate award show.
Yes, 100%. Yeah.
Anyway, we're gonna talk a little bit more about some of these games and beyond in just a second here. But I do want to remind you that this episode of Nintendo Noise is brought to you by our Patreon producers for the month of July. They are, of course, Arnold J. Rimmer, Christopher Valens, Earth Visitor, Gabriel Hasselmeyer, aka Sobi, Snackago, Ty the Dude, and Waka Hula. Thank you all so much for your support over on patreon.com/flipscreengames. You're all the reals to the real, and we greatly appreciate your support of this and all of our sister shows. I want to give a little PSA for folks that next week, of course, we are celebrating a milestone episode here, episode 100 of Nintendo Noise, and we have a very special episode planned for you. we are going to be doing a list of our top 100 Nintendo games of all time. Steve, it's going to be a special one. You, me, Chewy, Sierra, the classic lineup of Nintendo Noise hosts reunited to make a all-encompassing list of the best Nintendo games ever made.
I genuinely can't wait because it's been so long since I did an episode with Chewy because of time zones and his schedule. I can't wait. And I wonder what Animal Crossing game is going to be his number one.
I have been thinking a lot about this, and I think Animal Crossing is the game that has the highest likelihood to win because I think it's the only game that will end up on all 4 of our lists highly. If we all
Oh,
pick similar entries is the question.
look, you should all know what my number one game is. It's the game I've been saying is the number one game of all time, and it's a Nintendo game, so it's number one on my list. And I'll just leave it there. But if you've been listening to the
Toy
podcast, you'll
Story 2
know.
is not a
No, Toy
Nintendo
Story
game.
2 is not the best game of all time.
Oh, okay. All right. I guess Wario Land or something. Who knows?
Mm.
Whatever weird ass
Oh,
game.
Wario Land 4 is up there, but no, it's not
Steve
that.
is gonna single handedly push that game into our top 10. I'm very confident.
Look, come on. It's like the best game on the GBA. That and Metroid Fusion are the best games on the GBA.
I'm so fascinated to see how this list turns out because it's gonna be hot content, really. Because it's like I feel like Animal Crossing and Pokemon are gonna be way overrepresented, and like everything else is gonna be underrepresented. Because like you and Sierra have not played any Zelda games prior to Breath of the Wild, and I'm like the only one that gives a shit about 2D
I've
Mario.
played them, I just didn't like them. But I did like Wind Waker. But yeah, I don't care about Ocarina of Time or Twilight Princess. Those things can go get in the bin for as far as
You're
I'm concerned.
ridiculous. You gotta stop. You gotta stop saying things. Oh my gosh. So I want to close things out while we're on this conversation of Metacritic and all the big stuff as it were, right? That Nintendo's got on the block for this year. Metacritic put out their own little update here where they talked about the 20 best games of the year so far. And Tears of the Kingdom is ranked at number 1 Metacritic wise. So that's pretty nuts. We've got a really strong front runner, right, for game of the year here from Nintendo, as well as some of these other really hot games that we talked about. And I want to just briefly throw it out. What do you think, Steve? Do you think this year by the end of the year could this rank as the best year on the console? Because I pulled up lists of what's come out in years prior, right? And it's like you look at the list we had this year, right? We talked about Fire Emblem Engage, Metroid Prime, Tales of Symphonia, Kirby's Return to Dreamland, Bayonetta, Origins, Advanced Wars, Zelda, Pikmin 4. I'm skipping 1-2 Switch because it wasn't good. And then we'll skip Detective Pikachu, but assuming Wonder, WarioWare, and RPG are all good, that's 11 titles that will have had, an 80 or higher on Metacritic. That's a strong offering.
Oh yeah, even some. I'm looking through that list you sent over. Octopath Traveler 2's on there.
Yeah.
I can't believe that came out this year. A Space for the Unbound that got an 85 on Switch. There's like games I've not even really heard of or played. The Paranorma Site, The Seven Mysteries of Honyo. Never heard of it. Got an 85. But yeah, it's crazy. It's gonna be crazy. Yeah, absolutely crazy. Yeah, Theater Rhythms on here. Didn't expect that to be so high.
So what do you think?
I think not even just the Switch. I think in terms of gaming on the whole, I think this is probably one of the best years
Yeah,
ever.
dude, I'm increasingly thinking this might be it because for me, I feel like 2017 was that year prior to this. And if you're talking about like maybe even giving it like you're not counting a specific year, but like a window, that 2017 to 2018, like those are one of the best 1-2 punches we ever got. So many hot games, but like 2023 is out here really competing. Just Nintendo, there's 11 games on that list. You start throwing in some of the multi-plat stuff or some of the other
Well, you've
exclusives.
got Final Fantasy, Resident Evil 4.
Spider-Man's coming later this year. We got Starfield later this year. We had the Dead Space remake earlier this year. We had
Diablo,
Diablo
Baldur's Gate,
4, Baldur's Gate 3's on the block. Like,
Star Wars Jedi.
yeah. And like there's a Hi-Fi Rush. There's stuff we're forgetting too, like
The murder of Sonic the Hedgehog, the April Fool's joke that
who
was
could
one of the
forget?
most highly rated games that I think it's probably one of the most highly rated Sonic games of all time, and it was an April Fool's joke.
Who could
Really
forget?
good game though. It's like similar to Overboard if you've ever played that, Pete.
I
I think we
did.
spoke
Yeah,
about it
you
before,
turned me
yeah.
on to that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, like and I compare 2017, right? Which was I think the year I would think of prior to this, like at least just on Switch, right? We have Breath of the Wild, we have, you know, Fire Emblem Echoes, we have Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, we have Hey Pikmin, which isn't great, but we have Splatoon 2, we got Mario plus Rabbids Kingdom Battle,
Yeah.
we got Pokken
Mario
Tournament
Odyssey.
DX, we got Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga and Bowser's Minions, we got Mario Odyssey, we got Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, Xenoblade Chronicles 2.
Was
You
Smash
know,
out last year or that year? Or was that
that
the
was the
following year?
next year. That was
Yeah.
2018. So it's like,
It's just 17 and 18 to combine, like, oh my god, that's a real powerhouse.
yeah, but even so, I feel like you combine those 2 years, and this year still gives it a run for its money.
Yeah,
If all
I
these
agree, I
all
would
these
agree with
games
that, yeah.
that we think are gonna come out in the back half and will hit, if they all hit the way that they're supposed to, I don't know. This might be the one.
Agreed,
Might be the
100%.
one.
I think this is the best year in gaming.
Well, we'll have to debate that in full once it's all over, because that's gonna be
Yeah.
either one of the last shows of this year's or the first shows of next year. I definitely want to dive into that and like, we'll get all into the nitty gritty, but I feel like we're living in it. What a time. What a time to be a gamer right now. It's like this has felt like really an exceptional year for this generation. It feels like it's finally really getting some momentum, which is exciting.
Mhm. It's nice. I'm excited to see how the hell we're gonna figure out what game of the year is this year. Uh,
Dude, it's
uh,
going to be a
uh,
bloodbath.
it's ridiculous. It's gonna be absolutely ridiculous.
I don't know. It's going to be crazy. Cuz I think there are going to be multiple games that you walk away from that have a legitimate claim to game of the year, and it's going to be hard to begrudge anybody for
Yeah,
having those,
and like any other
like
year, it would have been yeah if that was released, but this game wasn't. That absolutely would have been game of the year, and I could see that for like 3 or 4 games this year. Yeah, if Diablo
maybe
came out
yeah.
and nothing else did, that was game of the year. If Tears of the Kingdom came out and nothing else, Starfield came out and nothing else, Spider-Man 2 and nothing else, it's like
Final Fantasy
Final Fantasy,
right on
Baldur's
that
Gate. It's
list.
like where do we put like what is going on?
It's nuts. Yeah,
Re-
it's like
Resident Evil 4 remake. I think that was one of the like
that
most
game
highly
like
rated
barely
games.
even made a splash because of how stacked this year is. Like nobody even talked about that game, and it's like
I
what?
know.
Like we've been clamoring for it for years and nobody even cares.
Not to mention the fact that we had the best video game adaptation of all time this year. So like there's a
The
lot.
Super Mario Brothers movie, of course, who could forget?
Yeah.
Yeah, good year. Good year for gaming, everybody. So, if you want to write in and let us know what Nintendo games you're most excited about if you didn't get to the poll in time, make sure you write in and let us know. Questions at flipscreen.games. Come join the Discord. Head over to flipscreen.games. That's our website. You can find links to all that and much, much more. If you want to go and show your support, if you want to go and find our sister shows, if you want to go become a Patreon producer and get your name read on the air, get a bunch of perks and goodies, all that and much more can be found over on flipscreen.games. So make sure you go over there, click on some stuff, show us some support, however you choose to get involved, however you tune in, however you act as a member of the community. We thank you for tuning into this week's episode of Nintendo Noise. For the crew, I've been Pete. He's been Steve. We'll see you next week.